Hello and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing something that we've been teasing for a little while now. You know, we've tested a lot of golf shafts recently.
We have.
Some new stuff, some older against some older stuff, and more importantly, we've been testing it in Ian's new custom Stealth, which, by the way, if you do follow us on Instagram, we actually just gave one of these away. So be sure to like and subscribe over there on Instagram. And if you're watching this video, be sure to like and subscribe as well. So Ian, we're going to compare your gamer today to a bunch of shafts, some new stuff that we've tested, as well as, you know, some old favorites.
Yeah, it's that time of year, RB. You got to try and finalise the bag over the next few weeks before the course gets open. You know, I do like to have the bag set, or at least narrow it down a little bit. And right now, new driver head and play, the new Stealth blacked out, my Stealth program. Really like how it looks. So now it's all about trying to get it to perform as good as it looks. So we've got to do a little testing. Last year's shaft is still the one to beat for me. Little Mitsubishi the TENSEI 1K 50X, 45.5 inches. Really loved the balance of having a little longer. I actually had it 46.25 for a little bit. I was getting some scary long numbers, but I kind of lost the control on it. So this was nice. So we'll see. I mean, TZ5 is, I'm very interested in that. TR, I loved Ventus Blue, so TR has my attention. TENSEI Orange, I was gaming that for a couple of months while we were sort of prior to the release. And I ordered a new one this year, the Graphite Design XC, which is a shaft I've always liked too. So there's some good options.
You've been chasing speed the last couple of years. You got really quick, and obviously now that you've found that speed, you shorten the driver a little bit to kind of rein it in, give you a play driver. And
actually, I have been working trying to get that speed back up a little bit. I didn't like where I was going with it. You know, when we were in Orlando, I was very much trying to hit it straight and hit up on it a little bit. But when I saw those, I don't want to be seeing ball speeds at 157, 156 when I've been 175. Yeah. So, you know, the last couple of weeks I've been focused on my driver speed again, back into my stack system protocols. So speed is starting to climb a little bit again. I've seen a few, you know, 115 and sometimes even a little more. So it's heading in the right direction again.
Perfect. So we've got the gamer here.
Yep.
And we'll see where we start, where we finish, and what basically the end result's going to be.
Love it.
All right, Ian, so you talked about that driver. So Mike, you built it. So let's go through the specs here.
Yeah, it's set at one click open. I know for the last year, you know, even during lockdown, Ian was playing a lot of drivers at full lower, especially the long and soft. It was, you know, just try to keep that loft as low as possible. Like we said earlier, 45.5 inches, D 4.5-ish in swing weight. Kind of his, I would say, what we've built a lot of drivers for him recently.
Okay, so just, I mean, before we even get going, I can tell you on shot number one, that's the shot today I want to eliminate, right? That kind of, not a bad strike, I didn't really think. It was a little bit out in the toe side. 1200 spin, no good. And it's not really, we talk about my magic number on dynamic loft, 17. It's not, the problem is not having not enough loft anymore. I think that's where the new, more lofted driver is helping me. I think that might be shaft related. Okay. I think that might be something that I'm getting a little bit too much, you know, gearing from, and I think some of the other shafts will offer, you know, a little bit of a tighter tip section and eliminate a little bit of that left.
Okay. Strike.
Yeah, that one felt a bit better.
Good one there. It's got a chance. Get towards the flag. Come on.
It was a little spinnier, that one, so just held up. Okay, I'll give you one more.
Is that a higher toe strike there?
Yeah, definitely a little higher in the head, so got the launch up and spin down a little bit.
And this combo definitely wants to, you know, that face wants to close a little bit, and like you said earlier, if that's coming down from the, you know, the 50X and move into something a little bit heavier, you definitely tighten that up. We should be able to not see that hard left movement on you.
Yeah, I would like something to feel like I can go after it a little bit more as well. If I don't feel like I can do that with this one. If I feel like I really chase the 120 club speeds that, you know, I probably am. And I had the TX at one point with this one and ended up going with the X because it felt a bit better. But again, maybe that was the face being 4 degrees open that allowed me to do that. I don't have that anymore. So, yeah, need to strike a better balance.
All right, now before we get into the next one, which is the Graphite Design XC, let's talk a little bit about the bottom weight there, because, you know, we talk about strike on the face. We've seen, you know, this driver so far has wanted to go a little bit to the left with your gamer shaft. So you have it out towards the toe, correct, on the sliding weight?
I do, yeah. I have it sitting at the, you know, there's like, it's almost like a W on the sole. I have it, you know, on the toe side of the bottom of the W. You know, if we go to the comparison page on the right and we go to club data, we'll see where that strike is. And we talk about trying to stabilize the miss. Well, you know, where that strike is and where that weight is, you know, very, very similar sort of positioning. So trying to get more stable misses. That one felt pretty good.
Tell you one thing, the driver wins on looks, that's for sure. The whole combo is...
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
It's nice looking. Maybe change up with the grip, but the combo looks good. If it performs like that, you just keep that in your bag and done.
Yeah, it dipped a little and spin, didn't it? Interesting. So we're definitely still turning over a little bit. It's still spinning a little bit on the low side. Probably dipped a little bit in spin with this one.
Yeah, 1700 on the last, or 1653 on the last, and just again that low toe strike.
Not in our window, is it? Okay.
So next up, we have a shaft that we actually talked about in a previous video, which is the all-new Accra Tour Z TZ5. Now this is the M5. So if you're familiar with Accra products, it's M5 is extra stiff, M4 is stiff, M3 is regular, M2 is like an A-flex or like a soft regular. And again, you've got the M5 here in a very stable profile.
Quite interesting. It actually feels somewhere between the two. It's 61 grams. That was one of the new things with the new TZ5 series, is they brought the weight down quite significantly. So this 60 is a true 60. It doesn't feel as light as the 50 gram TENSEI 1K, but it definitely feels quite a bit lighter than the XC. So it'll be interesting to see what this does with playing sort of in between.
Cool. And it looks cool. I like that finish.
It does look good.
The interesting thing here is, you know, we switched shafts, looking immediately at the compare page, like we're looking at very different ball flight, like much different from like where it's landing dispersion wise. Now again, it's one shot, but if we look at peak height trajectory, we look at like orientation from the target line, right versus left, we've seen something that has a lot less curve to it immediately, and it's finishing to the right of the target line. Is there something in it that, like from a field perspective, that's changing for you or allowing you to make a different swing?
Just somewhere, it's just sitting, I like the 1K. Obviously, I was used to it. I played it for quite some time, so there's a familiarity with a fairly light feeling driver. Not from a swing weight perspective, from an actual total weight. So I think that felt comfortable straight away. And yeah, I mean, anything that feels like it doesn't go left. I mean, you obviously know the TZ5 is exceptionally tip stiff. So something that performs like that is exactly what I'm looking for. Hitting that down the right side like that gives me something to work with. That, you know, you can turn it back left from there. It's just if you start it on the same line as the other ones and curve it, then you're in all sorts of trouble. So go over to the club data page a second as well, Mickey. Okay, so it was in a similar strike. It felt more solid to me, so that's interesting. It felt a bit more solid, but it actually was very similar.
And you don't have to fight to keep the face open too on that strike. Like you said, when you're setting up at address, you feel like you have to really keep the face open in order for the other two to work. This one, a little bit more point and shoot.
Okay, let's go on a bit more.
Swing.
Nice.
Yeah, felt good.
It's funny, RB, like you said, when Ian moved to the XC, looked like a little bit more confident swing, more controlled swing. This one, to be honest with you, the minute you step over it, it just, I don't know, it just looks like you could almost swing with your eyes closed in a way. It's going to go in the direction that we're looking for it to go.
Yeah, it's good. Looks, it's got all the things I'm looking for really, and face angle just relative to the path is the big thing. So with that being open to the path, close to the, open to the target, but close to the path, the right amount, that's ideal. For me, that's ideal. And it's still a little bit in the toe side, that's just where I missed the driver, but you can clearly see that does not want to rotate, or it doesn't want to gear nearly as much as the other ones did. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
That was really good there.
Yeah, good strike.
That's an interesting one because it's really high in the head and it's done so well. I mean, ball speed dipped a little bit because of the high strike, but it's went out there forever. That's managed to miss. That's the whole goal with this driver fit, with this trying different shafts, is to miss one as badly as that and see it go close to 3 bills in the air.
I feel like if you had missed that with one of the other ones previously, we would have seen a lot further left on it.
I feel it would have for sure.
Yeah. It's close to, what was that, 299, 298 carry?
296 carry.
296, yeah.
It's interesting, that was one there, we look at the strike. It's actually moved more towards the center, so we didn't see as much curvature in the flight of that.
No, I'm impressed with that. Leader in the clubhouse, no question.
Okay, new one for us in the fitting bay, VENTUS TR. Obviously 60X, that's kind of the flex and weight that we're running with. Interesting, you've liked VENTUS for a long, I mean, we all have liked VENTUS for a long time, but kind of sits right in between, you know, blue and black for launch. This will be, I'm excited to see how this one performs.
Definitely. The only trouble with this shaft is that it might not go with the color scheme, so maybe rooting against this one. No, I mean, this one is the one I probably had the highest hopes for going into this one, thinking that the reinforced tip section, more of a Ventus black tip section with retaining the feel of Ventus blue, thinking like this would probably do the best job with keeping the face from really closing too much. So this is the one. But again, we talk about moving in between these shafts. Immediately I feel the weight, right? And it is a heavier shaft. It's more of a true, probably closer to 70 gram at raw weight. We cut it down, obviously, and it'll be playing about 66 right now, but I can feel it. It's a bit heavier than the previous one. That's different.
We talked about start line.
It's definitely different, boys.
We found a new winner.
Very interesting.
That was easy.
And if you're hitting one down 18 at Augusta, I know which driver I'm picking right now. You know, if it's a case of managing the start line, I mean, this one is managing the start line so much better than anything else.
Those last two strikes were so much more center, so good. Great swing.
Thank you.
No, this is the really interesting thing about this is I know we talked about it with Johnny Wonder in the video. We were talking about different driver heads and how they work for different players.
Yeah.
No, shafts plays a role in this when it comes to weight, it comes to flex and, you know, controlling face angle, controlling path, and how, you know, shafts don't spin, but they can help a player adjust
the influence
in their swing.
dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And we're seeing, you know, we're looking at the right side there of our dispersion chart.
Yeah.
A little bit this way, a little bit this way. Green so far is just right down the gut. And, you know, we've seen it just even in that start line. It's just kind of so much more down the target. It's pretty interesting to see.
I think what you said there too, it obviously influences dynamics. Like your spin is up a little bit and it's hanging, it's staying up in the air a little bit longer. I mean, if this was a fit and you're a customer right now, VENTUS TR all day long, that's it's pretty impressive.
You'd be swiping the card.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. No, it's good. I mean, and the thing that's impressed me the most, I think, as well, is if we go to that compare page with all four shafts so far, is, I mean, from a strike perspective, if you go to club data, you know, it's the most centered. Go up to club on the tab in the top. So there's the little collection we're getting. So it's much more inward. Interestingly, less downward deflection. We're getting less droop, which is a good indicator for me that we're you know, got a nice, you know, stable tip section. It's not deflecting too much. It's good. I mean, and it would definitely give me the confidence to go after it a little bit more. Yeah, no, I think this is going to be tough to beat.
All right, 2 more?
2 more.
Maybe just 1.
1 more.
What was that 1 yard strip that like Rory and Colin tried to hit in Dubai at the end of the season, the beginning of the season?
Tyrrell Hatton, Morikawa, and Rory.
They need a TR and a Stealth because that's easy
right.
to do.
It's been a while since I've been this impressed with a combination in my own hands, that's for sure. I mean, I think I did fall in love too much with distance last year, and you know, it's nice, but if you're flying at 290, which that is almost every one, I felt it was like 290-ish, you just don't get any better than that. It's good. I don't. Anyway, that's for sure.
So we talked about your gamer from last year and
Yep.
what you've been testing a lot. As a lot of viewers on the channel saw, kind of sneaky leading up to when we did debut this. This is the 1K Orange. We did test it a little bit, and really interested to see how it compares to the white. Because we've seen you hit it, we've seen you've been really comfortable with it. So now we've basically got a baseline here with the Ventus TR of distance and accuracy. So it's going to be, I'm really curious to see how this one kind of stacks up against that, because as we've gone on here, we've gone a little bit right, a little bit left. We found one that finds the middle, Goldilocks, perfect bowl of porridge right there. So find out really how this one stacks up.
This has got an unenviable task of following that TR, doesn't it? I mean, it's a great shaft, and I've hit it. I've liked this an awful lot, but I don't know what you do against that last one. It's interesting. It puts me in the position of our customer a little bit, right? How do they feel after they try something that really ticks a lot of boxes? What's the psychology of that? Which I kind of like thinking about it that way. How are you adversely affected, or are you positively affected by the fact that you maybe feel like you're swinging a bit better now, or are you thinking like, well, how does it get better now? Why am I wasting my time? That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, which is interesting.
Yeah, I know. Like I get the question a lot. Do social media. You get them. We do Q&As, and people ask all the time. It's like, I have 2 clubs. I feel like I hit them really well. Like, how do I decide?
Yeah.
All the time. And I always say, like, what do you feel most confident with? Like, what is it about one product? Because I know just to yourself, right? You've got a number of different shaft combinations, same head.
Yeah.
There's got to be one that, like, in your head is like, this is the one I feel really confident taking to the tee. I think every golfer has that. They see the numbers, they're really close, and I think at that point, you have to go with your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, again, back to like I've had a couple drivers in the past that I love the feel of, and people are like, how do you pick? I mean, get some numbers and see. There's gonna be little differences that are like, okay, I need this for the golf course I play, or I want more distance, whatever it is. So I'm excited to see how this performs, because honestly, earlier in the season when we built this up, I was like
good stuff,
hands down, this is the combo for the year. But that TR, like we said, that's gonna be a tough one to beat.
Definitely.
Maybe we do have a challenger.
Yeah, we knew we liked this one.
Go. Come on. You're supposed to set the brake on the green, Mike.
We can make that.
Great swing.
That's an interesting one, because that didn't feel very good.
Yeah,
No,
a little
Pretty
messy.
toy.
That's so good. Take that all day long.
Yep, that felt pretty good.
Autopilot now.
Yeah.
If only we could get you a custom all black Ventus TR.
Boys, come on. I'm sure there's a prototype out there that wasn't marked with a color. It was just blacked out like most companies do.
I'm sure they've got something.
No, I mean, to be honest, like, again, with this one, it's not going to be easy to pick between these two. If we go to the comparison page and eliminate the others, because it really is a 2-horse race at this point. I mean, how do you...
You
how
are
do you
exactly
pick?
the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Launch angle, basically it's a rounding error.
But like we said earlier in the season, like, again, we were outside playing. from seeing how you had played driver last year, the minute you put this in the bag, you're like, wow, this could really be the driver shaft. You've always liked TENSEI orange, but I mean, you could have a TENSEI orange for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You could have a VENTUS TR for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and take Sunday off.
It's tough, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm looking at going, how do I decide between this? Obviously, TENSEI, there's a little bit more of a rightward start line. I've missed it a bunch of times in the toe. Is that a good thing, or is the fact I just hit the TR in the middle more often, is that just a better thing? Yeah, I'd probably lean towards that right now, if I'm being truthful. If we go to club comparison, let's see if there's any delivery differences. So dynamic line, no. Okay, interesting. Path was a little bit more neutral with TENSEI. Sorry, with the TR. Speed was the same.
That's the interesting one, because you'd think with, I mean, we see it especially too with this. The thing that stands out obviously is the middle strike, or the more centered strike, and that's where we're seeing less curvature with the TR. You know, from a fitting perspective, that's the one I would say.
Yeah.
Just because there is less curvature, right? And you know, as you mentioned, you got a tight driving hole. You don't want to, you don't want to have to worry too much about the trees. Like, you don't want to bend it like our friend Mac around through some holes in the foliage. So
yeah, I know. And then you could counter it with, but does the TR allow you any curvature because it starts so straight? You know, the TENSEI orange was started more to the right, so when I did bend it back a little bit with the toe strike, there was an allowance there.
So we've obviously seen some very, very close results here out on the driving range, in our fitting studio, of course. And so with this, I think what's going to be a lot more fun to do, because I think we are going to see some fairly similar results. Obviously, dispersion-wise, both are performing really, really well. I think we should take it to the course, Mike.
Take the course. We'll take it somewhere nice and tight, hard to to hit a shot. But I think for, you can't hit balls on a range all day, every day. So if
I've got an idea for where we could take this to. It'd be a lot of fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right, so we are going to stop this one here, and we are going to continue this in part 2 out on the golf course with a little surprise. You're not telling us yet, so we'll have to wait for that one. But we are going to save part 2 for the golf course. We're going to compare the VENTUS TR to the 1K Orange in Ian's Gamer Driver and see what happens. So I hope you like this video. Remember to stay tuned for part 2 of this, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in tomorrow.